What is up, all my lovely subjects? It's Master Salazar here. It's almost 6 o'clock, so I'm going to try and get this done fairly quickly because I don't know when my dad's going to be home. I was supposed to do a story time a few days ago about how I got into Green Day, and I'm sorry I didn't do that, but I'm doing it now. Green Day is a band that I've known about for almost my entire life. Like, probably since I was like 4, maybe. I just got into them from hearing my sister and my dad both play them all the time. And they're not one of my favorite bands, but they are a great band. It took a long time, but I did just recently listen to every album that they have released. They don't have them all in order on their YouTube, but I'm just going to go through their albums in the order they have them on their YouTube and tell you guys what I knew from each one before I listened to it. So the first one I'm going to go in with is Shenanigans. From what I remember, I actually don't think I knew anything from this album before I listened to it. But I don't know. I honestly wasn't a big fan of this album, but I think my favorite song would be the second track, Desensitized. That's all I can really say about Shenanigans, because it wasn't really a good album in my opinion. Next, I'm going to go in with Kerplunk. They had weird album names back in the day. My favorite song from this album would probably be Sweet Children, which is the 13th song on this album apparently, but I did also like One for the Razorbacks, Welcome to Paradise, and Private Ale. So that's all I can say about Kerplunk. The album cover for that album is very weird. Next, I'm going to go in with the Dookie album, which is a very weird thing to name an album, but it was the 90s when they made this album, so I did know some songs from this album before I listened to it, like Welcome to Paradise, Basket Case, and When I Come Around. My favorite song from this album is When I Come Around. I love that song. I also liked Chump, Longview, Pulling Teeth, and Basket Case, and Coming Clean. Next, we have Insomniac. I knew Brain Stew and Jaded from the Insomniac album before I listened to all of it, which are both good songs. And I would have to say Brain Stew is my favorite song from the Insomniac album, even though it's kind of basic. The song itself is basic. That's all I can say about... Actually, that's not all I can say about Insomniac. My favorite song is Brain Stew, but I also liked the song Brat, No Pride, 86, Panic Song, Tightwad Hill, and Walking Contradiction. Now I can go in with the Nimrod album. I'm not even sure if all these albums are in order, honestly, but who cares? So Nimrod probably isn't one of my favorite Green Day albums, but I would say my favorite song from this album is probably Jinx or Good Riddance. I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, this album wasn't great. I did like it a lot, but it wasn't. Well, I didn't like it a lot, but it was okay. Next, let's go in with Warning. This was a pretty good album. I'd say my favorite song from this album is Misery. I also like the title track, Warning, and I like Blood, Sex, and Booze, and Cast Away, and Jackass. Those are all good songs from that album. The next album they have is American Idiot. This is the first Green Day album that I started hearing songs from. The songs I knew from American Idiot before they released it were the title track, American Idiot, Jesus of Suburbia, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Saint Jimmy, She's a Rebel, and Wake Me Up When September Ends. My favorite song from American Idiot is Wake Me Up When September Ends. That song is amazing. Next, we have my favorite Green Day album, 21st Century Breakdown. I love this entire album. My original favorite Green Day song is on this album. It's still probably my favorite Green Day song, 21 Guns. But now I have a tie between 21 Guns and Know Your Enemy for my favorite Green Day song, because I can't choose between those right now. Those are both great songs. But the title track, 21st Century Breakdown, is also very good. Before the Lobotomy is a good song. Christian's Inferno. Every song on this album is great. Last Night on Earth was good. East Jesus Nowhere was okay. Peacemaker was okay. Last of the American Girls was amazing. Murder City was amazing. Viva la Gloria was great. Restless Heart Syndrome is amazing. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades is it was okay. Static Age was amazing. 21 Guns is like the most amazing song on this album because it's my favorite Green Day song. Mass Hysteria / Modern World was okay. See the Light was great. But obviously, my favorite song from 21st Century Breakdown is a tie between Know Your Enemy and 21 Guns. So then, after after 21st Century Breakdown, we have the Una album. I didn't know anything from this album before they released it. The songs I would say that I did really like from the Una album are Stay the Night, Kill the DJ, Bell for You, Troublemaker, Sweet 16, and Oh Love. My favorite song from this album would probably be Kill the DJ. Next we have Dos. Let's see. From this album, I really liked Lazy Bones, Makeout Party, Stray Heart, Ashley, Nightlife, and Amy. My favorite song from this album is probably Amy or Nightlife. One of those two. I can't choose yet. Next, we had the Tre album. My accent probably sounds horrible, and I'm sorry. Like, my Spanish accent probably sounds horrible. From this album, I really liked the opening track, Brutal Love. I liked 8th Avenue Serenade, Drama Queen, Sex, Drugs, and Violence, Amanda, Dirty Rotten Bastards, and The Forgotten. My favorite song from this album is probably either Sex, Drugs, and Violence or Amanda. Next, we have after Tre, we have their most recent album, Revolution Radio. This was a great album. I really liked Revolution Radio. It's my second favorite Green Day album. My favorite song from this album is Still Breathing. But also I liked Somewhere Now, Bang Bang, Say Goodbye, Outlaws, Too Dumb to Die, Troubled Times, and yeah. Revolution Radio was a great album. And they have 2 singles released for a new album that they will be releasing, I think probably next year in February. Yes, February 7th. They have a new album coming out called Father of All. I think that's gonna probably be a good album. I like the 2 singles they have released for it, Father of All and Fire Ready Aim. just Green Day was always like a band that has been played around me my whole life because they are one of the most popular rock bands around the world. Uh, so, yeah, a lot of people like Green Day. A lot of people love Green Day. I mean, I love them, my sister loves them, my dad really likes them, Jade loves them. I'm not sure if he still does, but I know he used to. My boyfriend loves them. Michael loves them. Other boyfriend. A lot of people I know love Green Day. Um, so okay. Um, on Friday this week, I'm going to give you guys a story time about how I got into King Princess. Um, that is also going to be the day that King Princess is releasing her debut album, Cheap Queen. She has an EP that she released last year called Make My Bed. Not sure if anyone who watches my channel knows about King Princess that much, but I love her so much. She's one of my girls. And she's LGBT too, so that's cool. She's lesbian. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a story time about how I got into King Princess for a while, and like I wanted to do that like probably starting it was around the time when she released one of the singles she has released for the Cheap Queen album, which I want to say probably. I think I wanted to start doing a story time about how I got into her around the time she released the third single that she released for Cheap Queen, which was Profit. She released that back in August. So, yeah, it was around that time, but then I thought, this girl only has an EP released, so I feel like maybe I should wait to do this story time until she releases her debut album. But, I mean, when she was releasing singles for this album, she just recently released the last single 2 weeks ago. But I was just so excited when she started releasing singles for this freaking album. There is one single that she released like about a year ago, I want to say, maybe. Yes, 11 months ago. I can't say the name of the song on my YouTube channel, but if you listen to King Princess, you will know what I'm talking about. Probably. But I just find it interesting that, like, I thought that when she released a single she released almost a year ago, I thought that was the first single she was gonna put on her new album. But it's not. She's not putting that song on. You know, I don't get paid by YouTube, so I can say it. Screw it. I thought the first single she was going to release for the Cheap Queen album was her song Pussy is God, but it wasn't. That was just a song she released to let everyone know that she's a lesbian queen. Pretty much. Anyway, I should end this video before it gets too long. So, yeah, since she's releasing her debut album on Friday, I will listen to that. And then after I listen to it, I will hopefully be able to do a story time about how I got into her and what songs I really like from her debut album and everything. It all depends on if my dad's home or not, because he works from home now, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, I should end this video now, because if I keep talking, it's just gonna go nowhere. Actually, no, not yet. Also, something interesting that's happening next week on the same, not next week, this week on Friday is Ice Nine Kills is releasing a deluxe version of their most recent album, The Silver Scream. So I am very excited to hear that. And also, The Edge of Reason. They're a band that followed me on Twitter a few months ago, and I love them. They are an amazing band. Like, they are really great. They are releasing their second album on the same day, which is called Sting. So I'm excited for that too. Yeah, so I got a lot going on this week. Like, the week before Halloween is when, I don't know why they chose the week before Halloween to do it, but apparently that is when The Edge of Reason and King Princess and Ice Nine Kills all decided to release new albums, or at least for Ice Nine Kills, a deluxe version of their most recent album. But yeah, I'm excited to hear that. And you guys will finally be able to figure out how I got into King Princess and why I love her so much and why I've talked about her in a lot of my videos since I found out about her earlier this year. So, this has been Master Salazar. I will see all of my lovely subjects in my next video.